What's happening, people? Welcome back to the Brothers Geek Out podcast. Today's episode's going to be a solo one. It's just going to be me today. The other brothers are busy with daddy duties. Hopefully, Kibbs might make an appearance later. Maybe Ash. We'll see. But for today, it's just going to be me. I'm going to give you an update on the brothers got an opportunity to go to the screening of the movie Kill and give you all my thoughts on that. I'm going to give you my thoughts on a Netflix London superhero show called Supacell, which I was able to watch, and a couple of other things that we watched. On the news, we got some news to go through. We got Green Lantern show that's been greenlit, Final Friday movie, a UFC movie, and some other news that we got that we'll go through. As usual, guys, do check the description if you want to go straight to the Geek Out news. I will put that in the description so you can skip all the small talk, which there won't be much of today because it's just me. But you can go straight to the Geek Out news. Also, the whole timestamps there, so you have the flexibility to go to any part of the show. You can skip straight to the news. You could check reviews for specific shows or movies that we watch, or go straight to the retro movie review. So always check the description. The timestamp is in there. Flexibility to move around. Since it's just me, not much of a small talk today. Like I said, Kibbs and Ash are on daddy duty, so they're really busy today. For me, from my side, everything's good. Just, being great, being in London. The weather has been amazing. Just been getting out about, seeing friends, seeing family. Got 2 more weeks while I'm here before I have to go back to super hot Dubai. But London's great. I always say this, when the weather's good in London, it's the best place on earth. But I'm not gonna lie, I do still feel unsafe. That's the one thing about living abroad, especially in a country like Dubai or Singapore or even Hong Kong. The safety is it's nice to just walk around the streets and not just kind of look over your shoulders. Now, I'm glad I'm aware of all of that, born and raised here, but it is a better lifestyle when you can just walk around and not look over your shoulders, not think maybe something's going to happen, someone's going to snatch your phone or whatever it is. Unfortunately, it is like that in London. But, touch wood, haven't gone through an incident in ages. But we went to Cambridge the other day, took my wife to Cambridge, and that was a different vibe. That felt safer, it felt nicer. I'm sure it is just a London thing. And of course, it happens because it's a classism thing and all that sort of stuff. So I'm not just saying, oh, it's London messed up. It's like that because of opportunities. It's like that because of classism. Many other things, that's why I guess in the Western world we have these ghettos and it feels unsafe. Not just in the Western world, but it happens most places. Anyway, I won't go too much into that. But we went to Cambridge, very nice. Got a chance to go there and sightsee and stuff. But other than that, let's get into it. It's gonna be a short one this week, just because it is me and my thoughts, and like I don't have Kibbs and Ash here to kind of bounce off ideas and whatnot. But did want to do this to give you guys an update. Guys, as always, we're going to start off with real world issues, even if it's just me. I do always, and we will always have to put the message out there, free Palestine, free Congo, free Sudan. I mean, there's many other places in the world that's going through stuff, but did want to just kind of put that message out there. It's still going on. It's heartbreaking that the world or certain world leaders, forget the people know, the people see, and the internet help us seeing the truth. It's the world leaders. And it just goes to show, an empire. When an empire is in charge, they're going to do whatever they can to stay in charge, and that's trying to control the people, control not just how they live their lives and all that sort of stuff. It's about what they see, the information they get. But the internet, the world of communication, the world of being able to see everything in your hands, the edge of your fingertips, is allowing the world to really see what's happening in these regions. This week, that guy, Julian Assange, was released from prison. I had no idea about him, to be honest with you. I was not familiar. I was familiar with WikiLeaks because of, oh man, what's that guy's name? Snowden, Edward Snowden. I heard about him and exposing things about WikiLeaks, about, I think it was like communication, the government's kind of tracking your phones and all that sort of stuff. But I didn't know about Julian Assange and like the creation of WikiLeaks and before, you know, the Iraq war and all that stuff, the war crimes, obviously that we know now, and we know now that there was no weapons of mass destruction, but we didn't see the war crimes that we're seeing now, right? Because different things are different. Technology is different. We could see it instantly, even though these technology companies are trying to censor it, constantly trying to censor it, but people are seeing it. The world is seeing it. And Julian Assange was a big part of that WikiLeaks. I don't know the full details. I don't know if he created it one, but WikiLeaks was the webpage that was uploading the war crimes that the US was doing, just killing and bombing innocent people relentlessly. And they put him in prison and tried to demonize him as a bad guy and this and that and a traitor and whatnot. All he was doing was putting the truth out there. That's it. And, you know, that's how, again, propaganda media, the government, whatever, they put him in prison for 5 years, and he just got released and he returned to Australia this week. I don't know the full details, but I just found out about this dude. And to me, again, I don't know full details, but for me, he's like a hero. And he's like a hero for back then putting this information out there on WikiLeaks, man. So, you know, shout outs to him. I'm surprised that he, you know, what's his name? Oh, I've gone blank. Anyway, I'm just surprised he didn't get whacked, put it that way, in prison, you know, hanged himself, quotation marks. What's that guy's name, man? I've gone blank, but the dude who had the island and then he hanged himself, quotation marks. Anyway, that's that. Of course, war crimes are still going on in Gaza. It's horrible. The escalation with Lebanon is so scary that I don't understand why. You know, talking about this is like I'm no expert. Again, I'm no journalist. I'm no historian or nothing. Guys, check Breaking Point, Mark Lamont Hill. Check these independent media news sources, which will give you the real news from all perspectives. I just can't believe that people just want war. They love war. They want the destruction of humanity. That's it. If they're not going to get it, I just feel like they just want to destroy everything. Anyway, let's hope, you know, it doesn't escalate into Lebanon. This is going to be scary for the whole region. I hope not. I hope not. But I think, you know, again, these countries, these world leaders that are like, they should be doing more in the sense of just boycotting. Forget war, forget killing. Like, boycott, lose diplomatic ties with these countries. Don't give them resources, man. That's what they need to do. Really need to do that to these countries and just be done with that and say, you're on your own. We're not going to give you none of our supplies, be it oil, coffee, minerals, whatever it is. Like, no, we don't want to do business with you, and just leave them to it and let their economy just die, rather than killing human beings. Anyway, look, I'm not going to go too much into this. You know, I don't have Kibbs here to kind of bounce back about thoughts and whatnot. But of course, prayers, guys, as we always say, you know, keep them in your prayers. Spread the message. Donate. You know, don't stay silent. You know, don't stay silent. Let people know. Make people aware of what's happening. Make people aware of what their government's doing. Children dying. You know, Immortal Technique says it the best, man. If you are cool with 15,000 children plus, you know, nearly 40,000 innocent people. Maybe some are not, maybe some are combatants or whatnot, but a massive percentage of that is innocent, and you're cool with that. 15,000 children plus who are all innocent. But you can't take the innocence of children away unless you demonize them as human beings, which has been done to the Palestinians. And you're cool with that. There's something wrong with you, man. As Immortal Technique says, I'm sorry for whatever happened to you. Guys, spread the message, donate, and yeah, you know, make sure you don't stop talking about them. Free Palestine, free Sudan, free Congo. Let's move on. Let's get into the news. No. So let's get into well, actually, no, we're sticking on to real world issues. Let me share my screen here. Let's start with this. Again, it's sad news. We're sticking on real world issues still. We lost. I don't know if you guys remember that tune by Crazy Town, Butterfly. I remember that tune. it was a part of growing up and whatnot. One of the main singers, the rapper on that tune, Shifty Sherlock was his stage name. His real name was Seth Binzer, passed away. I saw something about um an overdose, an accidental overdose or something like that. That's what I saw. Um, so I'm just trying to adjust the screen so it doesn't look too messed up. I don't know. Where's good? Is that good? Here, bottom left. Let's do that. He passed away. Sorry, rest in peace. Rest in peace, Seth Binzer from Crazy Town. I'm not saying I'm a Crazy Town fan and I even think about him, but I just remember this tune. I just remember growing up with this, and again, it's sad news that he passed away. So rest in peace to him and condolences to his family. Sticking on real world issues again, we lost a legend in Bill Cobbs. Rest in peace to him. He's been in loads of movies. If you recognize his face here, you got Night at the Museum, Bodyguard, Airbud, Ultimate. Let me see if other movies if I could pull out here. Ultimate Life. He was in Demolition Man. I remember that. New Jack City. The Decoration Day. I remember this one. No, I'm thinking of something else. What other movies has he been in? Let's try and pay respects to him and his movies he's been in. I still know what he did well. Summer, Trading Places. Yeah, he's been in loads of movies, man. Loads of movies. So rest in peace to him. Um, yeah, rest in peace. Let me check how. I think it was old. I think he what was it, 1934 to 2004. I can't do the maths, but it's a great life. That's a great life. So rest in peace to him. Condolences to his family. And he'll go down, he's been in so many movies, and I'm sure if you pick up a movie from back in the days or whatever, you'll see him in it, and he left that kind of legacy behind. So rest in peace, Bill Cobbs. All right, moving into stuff that we watch. So I spoke about it earlier. Us brothers got the opportunity to go see the movie Kill. As the posters. Let me see if I can get a bigger version up. Well, yeah, here's some of the posters and whatnot. It's a Lionsgate movie, but it's like Bollywood. It was like a Bollywood movie. Um, it so we got an opportunity to go last Monday to the screening. I saw the trailer, and from the trailer, you could tell it's going to be one of those action-packed movies, right? We're talking about The Raid, John Wick, Extraction, those type of movies. It definitely lived up to that. It fits in those movies. When you're talking about those, I said this with John Wick, like an artistic action movie. I'm talking about the choreography is, yes, it's violent. It's violent, it's gory and all that sort of stuff. But there's an art behind it. It fits in there amazingly. I mean, look, even the story, I'm not going to spoil anything or whatnot, but even the story, I think this, what this might have on top of some of those other movies like The Raid and John Wick, it's the emotions of the stories, the emotions of the characters. Like, it really touches your heart, man. I think the main characters, the I'm trying not to spoil it. I'm not trying to. The motive was there's always a motive with these action movies, but the motive on this one was different. The motive on this one was what made you feel like, go kill these motherfuckers, like go get them, like that's how you felt. But they really incorporated like a good motive to this action, and this was all this was on a train, right? The choreographing and the camera, the way they shot it, the cinematography was done amazingly. To think about that narrow environment of a train and like putting that action through that narrow vision. Like, think about Daredevil. We used to love those hallway fight scenes and choreography and whatnot. Just think about that, but on a more of a narrow train and environment there. They done they done a great job of just expressing pure violence in that atmosphere. Absolutely amazing. I again, I don't want to spoil it, but what I'm saying to you, watch it. it fits in there with, like I say, with the John Wicks, with the raids, with the from the action perspective. So if you love those from an action perspective, watch this, right? But like I said, what this gives more is the story, the motive of why he's gonna go kill these dudes. I mean, the movie's called Kill, right? So why does he go on this killing spree? Yes, he's a good guy, right? Yes, they're bandits, and he has to kill them. But the motive is definitely a step up from what I've seen in some of these other movies. And same with the action. You know, I'm not saying that it's better. The act from the action perspective, I'm not saying it's better. It's definitely just up there and entertaining. And even with the bandits, man, the emotions from the bandits was actually really good. Like we were laughing at certain things. They're the bandits, but damn, it's one of the first times I've seen a relationship built within the bandits to a point where, you know, they're crying for the lives of their bandits, you know, for each other and whatnot. It was a family affair, put it that way. So, you know, when as the bandits are getting killed, which is not a spoiler because of course they're getting killed. You know, the bandits were getting really emotional for their fallen. I don't even want to say fallen soldiers. I'm talking about fallen because they're bandits, right? But fallen family members, man, that was emotional. That was funny. It made me laugh, but it's like, damn, I've never seen that before. That kind of emotion within the bandits and whatnot. But you know, the main guy, Laksaya, that's hopefully I pronounced his name. Man, my guy is freaking tonks, man. He was in good shape. And then the combat ability he had, and I've seen him. Ash kind of showed us some YouTube clips of him. I believe it was him, like doing like training in the gym, doing martial arts and all that sort of stuff. So he's got some combat experience from a martial art perspective, but just applying that in this movie, wicked. And like I said, the motive. I don't want to spoil it. You might think certain things. I definitely think this has a twist in it where you're like, holy shit! Like this movie had some holy shit moments and some holy shit moments. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, holy shit, oh shit. Trust me, this movie was awesome. So I wasn't surprised. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't surprised. And also for a Bollywood movie, you know, still produced by Lionsgate. Well, I did think it was going to be long, you know, like a typical 3-hour Bollywood movie. Listen, guys, there's no singing and dances, and it wasn't long. And it did kind of get straight to the point, I would say, and it just gets you in. So, you know, thank you, Lionsgate, for the opportunity to send us brothers down there to check it out. I'm in London, so I got the opportunity to go to one of these. But man, guys, check it out. Kill, awesome movie. All right, let's move on to the other thing I watched was Trigger Warning on Netflix. Jessica Alba. I don't think she's made a movie in a while. To be honest with this was kind of basic. I thought it was going to be a bit more entertaining. I found it kind of basic. It was a bit boring and whatnot. I watched it still. I'll be honest with you. I mean, it got some controversial stuff in the beginning as well, and I'll talk about it. I felt like that immediately. Again, the propaganda bullshit starts off with they're getting chased in Syria and whatnot. They're in a what do you call it? Was it a medical no, what's the word, aid working van, and they're getting chased, and then the American soldier tells Jessica Alba's character, oh, they found out that we're not aid workers. And then you got it, literally said it in the subtitles, they wrote terrorists speaking in Arabic, literally same bullshit propaganda shit that's happening in the real world now. So that did piss me off. Like, I'm done with that, you know. Like when I was young, I didn't really pay attention. But now I see it, I'm fucking done with that. So I was annoyed immediately, and that was just bullshit. Terrorists speaking in Arabic. It's always the same shit. And they're like chasing this aid truck and trying to kill them or whatnot. Like in the real world, we've all seen it. And I'm going back to the real world issue, but we've seen it in the real world who the real terrorists are, and that's the IDF or the IOF, the Israeli Occupation Force, who actually kills aid workers, whether they're not aid workers. In this movie, they said, oh, you know, they were undercover aid workers, but they were saved soldiers or whatnot. In the real world, the IDF do kill real aid workers. We've seen it, right? And they've targeted them and killed them in Palestine and Gaza. So, you know, the propaganda, Hollywood will put that in there, and that did annoy me. but we've all seen the real world. And if you haven't seen that, you just do a quick Google search and you'll see how many aid workers Israel has killed, or the IDF has killed, has murdered in the real world. So, guys, I'm done with this propaganda bullshit and whatnot. Doesn't mean it'll stop me from watching all this stuff and boycott the whole lot. But when I see it, I'm gonna call it out for his fucking bullshit. So that was bullshit. So it started off with bullshit. Jessica Alba was badass and whatnot. She done that show back in the days, Dark Hunter something. I'm not gonna bother looking into it, but she's badass. She does some martial arts and all this sort of stuff. And in the movie, again in that first scene, her someone on her team was just executing the terrorists as the terrorists, and I said the word as well. Started executing them like murderers that they all are anyway. But she was able to disarm them, and she was just a badass female that was able to do some stuff. But you know what? It wasn't even that great. I went through the whole movie. I kind of left it on in the background. I was like, this is some boring ass shit. So yeah, I watched that. I don't know. I don't even know why I watched it. But shout out to Jessica Alba. She's awesome. I'm happy she's awesome. But anyway, the other thing I watched, Sweet Tooth. I finished off Sweet Tooth season 3. Kibler's not here, so I could spoil it. So spoiler alerts if you haven't seen it. What a beautiful ending, man. What a beautiful ending. What a great show. I feel like they shot this whole show, season 1, 2, and 3 together, because none of them look like they age, especially Sweet Tooth. Like, you see more of the age in the kids. But what a great show. I binged through it. I was just... I've loved this show since the beginning. And again, you can see by the images here, if you haven't seen the show, like, you're like, what's this stupidness? Well, these, hybrids, they call them, half human, half animals. Like, it looks weird and whatnot. And you know what? It could look weird, but it was so good. It was good, and it finished off beautiful. I mean, look, and like the whole premise of the show. Well, I would say the whole premise of the show was Sweet Tooth. Sweet Tooth is like the chosen one. He was like, when I say chosen one, like the first, we thought was the first hybrid, half human, half animal. But ultimately, what they were expressing was the evolution of mankind, or I guess you could say mankind, or human beings, or the evolution. This was the end. What this was showing, this was the end of human beings and the beginning of hybrids. Now, and basically coming from Mother Earth. Now, Mother Earth released, and this is why they were in this episode, in this season, they went to Antarctica, where it all started. There was like a tree that produced plants or whatnot. Anyway, the blood of the earth or whatever, it released a virus that was killing human beings, and the natural the natural development of nature was to develop these hybrids who were immune to this disease. And we thought Sweet Tooth was the first ever hybrid. We found out there was someone else before who showed up in the show. I can't remember his name, but that was ultimately what we got to. And then, as usual, the humans, they get scared of things that are different. They start dehumanizing the animals, and the hybrids. Technically, they're half human, I guess, in that, from that perspective, but they just have no remorse. And they wanted to, they thought the answer to the cure was in Sweet Tooth's DNA. And, these humans, man, again, it's always the same thing. Like, they just, I don't know, they just want to, they wanted to kill this sweet little kid. And throughout this whole show, Sweet Tooth's been like the sweetest kid ever in the title. I mean, he always just was able to kind of just introduce himself to people and build the trust of humans immediately, and always saw the good in human beings. And you could just see that in him. And, it was deep. The ending was deep. Like, it finished off nice. When you had those happy tears and whatnot, it finished off nice. It is what it is. The disease was there. The disease stopped because of Sweet Tooth, but humans that were left, that was it for humanity. And the next evolution of the planet was going to be the hybrids. But the relationship between him and Big Man, just beautiful. Spoiler alert, he does meet his mother. She ends up dying. And yes, that was emotional, but we didn't, from an audience perspective, we didn't really build much of an emotional connection with the mother. We built an emotional connection with Big Man. And that's who I didn't want to see die. And then, you know, they gave us the teaser that he's gonna die, and I thought he was gonna die. And he did whatever he could do to protect Sweet Tooth. End of the day, he didn't die, and just a lovely ending, you know. It was just a lovely, lovely ending. It just made me feel you just wanted to see Sweet Tooth and Big Man just kind of go off in the sunset and, you know, live their lives. And, you know, Sweet Tooth, they found the rest of the hybrid kids, and they kind of, that's it. That's gonna be Earth, you know. From then, all the other humans that are alive, they don't have to worry about the disease anymore. But once they die off, it's all hybrids. Great show, guys. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I really recommend it. I really enjoyed it. I found it very engaging. So Sweet Tooth, wicked show. Kind of sad that that's over, but it's the way it is, isn't it? Let's talk about Supacell. This show, oh my, I binged this through 2 days. I binged this through 2 days. A London superhero show, a South London more specifically superhero show, even though other parts of London were shot. I thought this was some cheese. I'm not gonna lie. Man, I saw it on Netflix, and you just see a quick little trailer. I was like, it's gonna be some cheese, honestly. And then one day I was like, if it was Friday, I was like, you know, I got 9 to 1. Let me just put it on in the background. Immediately, I was captured. I think one bias it because it's London, so it's close to home. You know, the way they talk, the scenery. You know, South London, Brixton. Just a vibe. There's more of a connection. But immediately I realized that this is shot really well. Like the production is not as shit as I assumed it would have been. Like again, you shouldn't assume shit. You should give shit a chance. I'm telling myself this, and I'm saying this, but telling myself this. Immediately I was like, noticed that the production was done well. It was shot really well. And then throughout the show, it's got 6 episodes. They done a wicked job of character building. By the end of episode 1, they've introduced all the characters, just little snippets, and it is so relatable because it's London. You know, you got one who's a roadman. You got one who's kind of like the main character here. You see, who's like an Amazon sort of delivery guy. It wasn't Amazon. It was something else with his girlfriend. You got one like single father. Well, a father who's not with the mother, just want to do best by his kid, but he's broke, doesn't have the job. You got 2 sisters who are living together. You got another guy who was a drug dealer, but also kind of nice guy, just selling weed and whatnot. And you could see ultimately, like with him, he's not really doesn't want to be a drug dealer, but trying to make some money. Who was the other character? Was that it? That was it. Anyway, they introduced them again in like the character building that they did was amazing. Immediately makes you get to know all the characters. Immediately makes you pick your favorite characters, who you kind of relate to more, who you want to see of more. But all of them were just kind of like relatable. Again, from a London perspective, there was that biasy, but then just they did a great job with the story of building the characters. And then the superhero stuff, the powers and everything, they done that really well. I thought it was gonna be cheese, but no, like again, the production behind it, I don't know what the budget was or whatever, but they made sure that it didn't look shit. It looked really good. It looked, I don't want to say realistic, but it looked like it suited them. It suited the atmosphere, South, being in London with these actors, these characters and whatnot. Absolutely amazing. Ultimately, spoiler alerts if you haven't seen it. Spoiler alerts if you haven't seen it. What it is was sickle cell. It was a mutation of, they were mutants. It was a mutation of sickle cell. Like, so their parents all had sickle cell, and in the community, the Black community, sickle cell is more prominent in that community. It is in other communities as well, but more in that. But what happened was in the show, what it was showing, it was a mutation of that. So the kids were getting these powers. Now he's saying that again, it was mutants. They were saying a lot of people. They were saying that a lot of people have this mutation in their body, but nothing ever activated it. With these guys, they went through dramatic stuff or emotions, and it activated this supercell, as they called it. And then the main character here, he went back in. He went in the future. He saw what's going to happen, all this sort of stuff, and he knew he had to kind of get them together. And that journey of him trying to get them together because he had to save his girlfriend, who saw her grave and whatnot. was what do you call it? That was his mission, trying to get them together to not even save the world, save the one that he loved. It was, I guess you could say everyone was on their selfish agendas, but the way he was trying to fight, I mean, the way they kind of like interlink the characters, but then also the way he was trying to find them. And then I liked even the way when people finding out that these people got powers, like the way they will freak out. Like I generally thought it was done well. Like some shows, like, or some things, like someone's got powers and they just kind of brush it off like it's nothing. So this was done like in a way where people found out they got powers, they were immediately like freaking out and all this sort of stuff. Done really well. Seriously, it was almost like believable. And then the way he kind of gathered the team, the way by the end when the team gathers, they really built that up so well. Like the anticipation of them meeting, the anticipation of them getting together and working together was done. I'm not even joking, like Avengers level style. Like okay, no wait, sorry, Defenders level style, right? With Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and whatnot, and Iron Fist. I think it was actually done on that level style in a matter of 6 episodes, in my opinion. Like, in the show, they did mention the Avengers. They did mention, DC characters like Flash and all that sort of stuff. So the superhero stuff exists in this world, in London, in the South London. But I'm not joking. I honestly believe that, or how I felt was the build up they did was amazing. And it gave me that anticipation of like, oh, I can't wait till they link up and then work together. Now, this was just the beginning. I hope they do a season 2. I really do. I mean, they set it up for a season 2. They're going to be more collaborative and whatnot and more in control of their powers. Like, I'm looking forward to if they do more. I'm in. I'm in. I think they got a great show with them. Someone coming in? No. I think they got a great show, a great couple seasons if they get the budget. For the London fans, the superhero fans, check it out. Sorry. Yeah, honestly, it's not cheesy. It's not cheesy. Like I had that. It's not. It's fucking awesome. So guys, check that out. Supacell. I think that's been honestly, I've been through the whole thing. I think that's been the best thing I've seen all week. Or one of the best things anyway. All right, let's talk about The Boys, episode 5. This was the one that was a crazy episode with all the souped up animals and shit. That was hilarious. This show doesn't like nothing shocks me in this show. And I feel like with all the madness that they've done throughout the whole show, be it from the violence, from the sexual stuff, whatever it is, nothing seems to amaze me. Nothing doesn't seem odd. Like nothing's like, oh, come on, you've gone too far. I'm like, if someone feels like that, then the hell are you been watching? So anyway, souped up animals. Ultimately, they were looking for the dude who's got the virus, and Butcher's trying to get that virus, and then trying to manipulate and whatnot. But yeah, the madness of the animals, it was just crazy. The chickens busting through people and all that sort of stuff. Absolutely hilarious. We saw that in the trailer anyway. I love this, man. I think Homelander. Let's see what happens. I still got my theory. I think, you see Homelander's son, like he said he wanted to help people, but immediately he was humiliating that director dude, which I was actually, in a way, the way they set it up is like, I liked that guy getting slapped up. He was an idiot, but almost like he enjoyed it too much where you're like, oh man, I hope you become good. Rather than what they showed, which was he was enjoying him getting smacked up. But ultimately, he wanted to protect people. I don't know. I still think he's going to be the one that end up kills Homelander. That's what my opinion is. And we're going to get that at the end of season 5, in my opinion. Boys, great show. I don't think they can ever... So far, with the way it's been season 1 to 5, 4, honestly, I don't know how... Honestly, I just think it's one of the best. I think for me personally, it's been consistent. I know this one's got the lowest ratings, but for me personally, it's been consistent. What else did we watch? Let me quickly check. Boys, I think that's it. That's all we watched for this week. Let's get into some news. I'm going to quickly run through the news, give you my thoughts, and I'll finish off with this week's retro review. So for the news, first of all, the Avengers 5 Kang Destiny, Dynasty. I don't know if they're still calling it this. Anyway, it's gonna start filming in 2025. So in 6 months' time, well, not exactly in 6 months' time, but it's gonna start filming next year. I think you forgive, let people live their life. Jonathan Majors, as long as he learned from it, right, his mistakes and whatnot. But could be a good comeback. When I say comeback story, like a redemption story, as long as he's kind of redeemed himself as a person. I don't know what they're gonna do with this. They haven't really said. I don't think they've said anything that they look at to change things or whatnot, or if they look at to change the actor for Kang. But whatever, this might be fake. I just pulled this up on Google with Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire and Jonathan Majors. But Avengers 5 starts filming next year, and we're going to get that. So can't wait for that. I spoke about this last week, and I saw news that was like legit, but I don't think it is. Last week I said that he was interested and Marvel was interested. Then I saw something pop up saying that it's official, but then I tried to search for it, so I couldn't find anything. So I think it's still rumors for now, but Ryan Gosling as Ghost Rider might happen, but it just seems like it's just popping out there in the news. But we'll see. He'll do great. Green Goblin, they're looking to reboot, or not reboot, sorry, give us a MCU Green Goblin. So that's going to be interesting. In the new, I think it's going to be a trilogy told, what's his name? Tom Holland Spider-Man series. So we're going to get a new Green Goblin. I'd be very interested to see the costume design in this. Defoe is perfect, right? We all know he's absolutely perfect. Done a great role in Green Goblin as Green Goblin. But let's see what the Green Goblin that we get in the MCU. I think I don't know who they'll pick, but I think they'll do great with the character, with whoever they cast. I'm very much more interested to see the costume design. Are we going to get something like from the comic books, with the purple and the green, as you can see in the picture? Or somehow the default one worked. Like, whenever I look at it, you know what? For back then, it worked. And even now it worked because he was in the Spider-Man movie. Now, if he showed up like that, for example, if he shows up like that in the new MCU, I would think, that looks a bit off. But it worked perfectly back then. Let's see what they do with the costume now. So should be getting that. The first look at, there's some leaked images of Superman that came up. And I know Kibler tried to avoid it and whatnot. But a couple of noticeable things, like you get the shorts back, his red shorts back and everything. I think some of the feedback that me and Ash were talking about is he doesn't look like he's filling up the suit. But I don't think that. I think when it comes out, these are just photos, man. This is random photos. Like, when it comes out, they're going to tighten things up. They're going to use CGI to tighten things up. I think he's going to, I don't think they're going to fill up the suit, but I think he's going to look neat in it. They're just going to tighten things up for him to fit his body type rather than him or padding it up and thing. James Gunn, visually amazing, and I think visually he's going to make sure it looked perfect on the big screen. Doesn't have to be hench and bulky and whatnot, but the suit fits. Right now it just feels like it's not filled up. But remember in Winter Soldier, Captain America and Winter Soldier TV show, Anthony Mackie's suit, I remember they, like, the neck was kind of coming out or whatnot, so they had to use CGI to kind of tuck it in and whatnot. I think they'll do the same thing with Superman. Let's take a look. They had some other leaked images. Let's see if I can find any with some other characters who I'm not familiar with, to be honest. Yeah, this character here, not familiar with, to be honest with you. Anyway, that's first looked. I think Kibler tried to avoid it, to be honest with you, just kind of a spoiler perspective. But, it's great to know that the red underpants are back and whatnot, and I think it's going to be great. I know people already comparing, Zack Snyder and Henry Cavill. Let it go, guys. We've got to move on. And I think it's going to be great. All right. The other news was for DC, Green Lantern series has been given the green light from DC Studios, so this will be canon to the whole DC Studios universe, the DC universe. I'm looking forward to what they do because I think there's so much you can do with the Green Lantern Corps. Not that I'm an expert in Green Lantern, but I think from a visual and a perspective of creativity, I think they can do so much. and then kind of open up that cosmic world as well, which they would have with Superman and whatnot. Or, you know, we've always seen that. But just to see Green Lantern again on the big screen, of course, the Ryan Reynolds one was not great, but let's see what with James Gunn's vision. What do we see? And I'm looking forward to that. And I think a series is good. I think a combination of series and movies are going to be great, just so you get an opportunity to build characters properly, nicely, and then put them all together when the time's right. So that's what I'm looking forward to this the most. All right, let's move on to other movie news. And this one was about Acolytes. Now, I haven't seen anything since I left Dubai, so I'll catch up when I get back. Now, I know, as you can see here, the, what do you call it? The Rotten Tomatoes review is really bad by the audience. The audience are not liking it. Whatever. I'm not. I'll watch. I watched episode 1, 2, and 3. Episode 1 and 2 I thought was pretty good. 3 was like a bit weird and whatnot. But you know, I'll watch 4, 5, and 6, and when I get back and see how it is. But that wasn't it. What I found out though, or what I saw was the Acolytes. Each episode budget was double of Godzilla Minus One. Right, one episode's budget was double of Godzilla Minus One. And everyone, if you've seen that movie, if you haven't seen that movie, you need to go see that movie. If you haven't seen that movie, you know how awesome that movie was. But I just found that to be interesting. Like, it's not about budgets, right? It's not about just throwing shit in there. It's supposed to be good storytelling, especially if you're using a universe like Star Wars. But again, I've only seen 3 episodes. Now everyone's cussing the shit out of the show. When I say everyone, a lot of people, fans or whatnot, but I haven't seen them, so I can't cuss it already. All I can say is episode 1 and 2 was decent. I love the martial arts. That's been different. Episode 3 was a bit weird with the witchcraft stuff, but let me watch it and see how it goes on. But I just thought that budget thing was interesting. The next piece of news was Friday. Let's go. Ice Cube said that the last Friday is in the works. Something I'm looking forward to. Like the original Friday with Chris Tucker was freaking awesome. I think one of those cult classic type of comedies. Then they made a few other Fridays. This will be the last one. I think the 4th one in the thing you got next Friday, which was actually pretty awesome with Omar Epps. Is it Omar Epps or Michael Epps? I can't remember his name. And then next Friday, which was all right as well. But the original Friday was amazing with Debo. And just classic lines like, you got knocked the fuck out. Like, this movie just had that. What I would want in the last one, in my opinion, and I don't know if it will happen, bring back Chris Tucker, man. Bring back Smokey. Like, bring him back. Because he was freaking hilarious. And I feel like with Friday, I remember it was just on this one road, right? The original one. It was just on the one road in the front of his house, him and Smokey just chilling and then just observing what's happening on the street. Man, take it back to that. I would say take it back to that. Take it back to that kind of comedy. If you can get Chris Tucker back in there, that'd be awesome. A Smokey, I would love to see that. That's in my opinion. But regardless what they do, I'll watch it. But I think regardless, like that first movie, Ice Cube just smashed it. I believe he wrote that. And he's got I think he got a cult classic comedy on his hands there. So last Friday in the works. If you're a fan of the Friday franchise, that should be something we're looking forward to. All right, Jonathan Majors, going back to him. So according to Deadline, Jonathan Majors has been cast in a supernatural revenge thriller, Merciless. Martin Villeneuve, the younger brother of filmmaker Denis Villeneuve, I pronounced his name wrong, I apologize, will direct it. So, you know, considering what I think he was in prison for a year, I think it was, convicted for a year, I don't know, I'm not going to go into that. But considering that, listen, he's still getting casted for movies. He's an amazing actor. He is amazing. Did he make a mistake? Hell yeah. Should he be boycotted or, you know, what do you call it, cancelled for life? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not my decision to make. But he is an amazing actor. But it looks like he's still getting roles. You know, it looks like it is because according to Deadline, he's been cast for a role. So maybe there's some forgiveness out there. But it will be good to see him back on the big screen. And hopefully he's a changed human being and doesn't have to go through the same shit. Or doesn't do what he did. All right. Moving on. All right. So this was interesting. I've done a little short about this. Let me see if I get here. So shortly, I'm gonna just read this here. Shortly after the conclusion of the main event of the first UFC Saudi Arabia card that they had last week, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, uh, Al Ali Sheikh, this brother here, he he's the one who's bringing all these events to Saudi Arabia, especially from a combat perspective. He's helping making all these massive boxing fights, help organize this big UFC card in the UFC, bringing the UFC out there. I mean, he was so impressed, and we're gonna get a lot more of UFC out there. But him and Dana White joined John Anik in a live broadcast to announce the promotion would return to Saudi Arabia in early 2025. So the Saudi advisor also noted that he wants his friend Zack Snyder to direct a big UFC movie similar to the Cinderella Man. So, I mean, a UFC movie with the creative visuals and vision of Zack Snyder. And the reason why I think that this could happen is this brother here, Allah Sheikh, can make it happen. Because you just throw money at the shit, man. You could just make it happen. Now, do you want it to happen? Money and all that stuff, put the budget in there. Would Dana White want to have? What would this movie be about? Would it? I mean, if you're making a UFC movie, then you've got to make it about the UFC and the growth of the UFC, and it's got to be like Dana White and the Fertitta brothers, and the Gracie family starting off. You've got to start off with that, right? How would Zack Snyder do it? I mean, I'm just thinking of like his vision, like a comic book vision or like a 300 vision, real life gladiators in a cage. You know, do they go into the background of when Hoist Gracie was on Joe Rogan's podcast talking about some of the ideas that people threw out there, like, have a pit with alligators down there and all this sort of stuff. Like, if you fall out of it, you're going to get munched by alligators. Like, some stupid ideas that people are throwing out there. Ultimately, they landed on a cage. Thank God. They were talking about barbed wire and shit. It's crazy, some of the ideas that they'll think about. What does he do with a UFC movie? I mean, the UFC is still young. It's weird that you say, like, make a UFC movie, but it's like young still. It's still growing. So yeah, 1993, I think, was the first UFC event, right? So we're talking about 32, 31 years old. I don't know, man. Like the reason why I'm taking it serious is like because they can make it happen because of the money. I'm just trying to think Zack Snyder's vision. I'm just thinking 300. They could do something great. I think it might be about, I think you've got to do it about, or you don't have to do it about, but you've got to do it about the growth of it, and Dana White and whatnot, being a big part of the Fertitta brothers and all that sort of stuff. Interesting take, interesting thought that they threw out there. I'm in. I mean, I'm a big UFC fan. Guys, check out Fight Talk with me and K West talking about the fights. We had big UFC 303 today, so me and K West are going to talk about tomorrow. So do check that out. Huge MMA fan, martial arts, training martial arts and everything. So huge UFC fan. I do enjoy watching ONE FC on some occasions, Bellator, PFL, whatever, when certain fighters are fighting. So I'm a huge MMA fan. If they made this 100%, I would be in. Let's move on to this one. Oh, Squid Games 2 just was just FYI, is coming out December at the end of this year. So something to look forward to the end of this year. Squid Game 1 was awesome. I even saw the Squid Game challenge show that they did, which was also awesome. But this show, let's see how they topped the first one, because the first one was so good and man, it went viral as a show. So how do you top this? I'm looking forward to season 2. The next thing was this one. Yes, I saw this and I thought this was interesting because I really enjoyed the first, 21 Jump Street, the original ones. I have to be honest with you, I didn't see with Johnny Depp and whatnot, but the movies with Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill, I thought were awesome. Comedy, just absolutely awesome. Jonah Hill, whatever he's in, is amazing. That guy's just awesome. But apparently they've been trying to do a 2023 Jump Street. And what website is this? Shout out to CBR.com. But anyway, Channing Tatum was saying something about an interview with Comic Book. Tatum said the script was in fact written for the third for the third film. There is a project that was written, and it's still the best script that I've ever read for a third movie. So that's interesting coming from him. Tannen said through Lord and Miller had departed. Though Lord and Miller had departed from the franchise, James Bobbin was brought on board to direct the third film. Bobbin had directed The Muppets in 2021, starring Jason Segel. However, the film never began, and Tatum gave a reason to as why it's just a lot of bureaucracy, kind of above the line stuff. Tatum said it's really hard to get it made, and we've been trying to get it done. So I don't know, sounds political and whatnot. I hope they do it. I really enjoyed the other ones, man. They're just hilarious, man. They're just easy to watch. They're funny. The dialogue's funny. I think with these guys, especially with Jonah Hill, you just look forward to the comedy dialogue. That's what's hilarious about these movies and whatnot. So I hope they do it. I hope they figure it out and make it happen, because I'm in 100%. Quick update on this one. Sony releases dates according to Deadline. This is Sony released its dates for the Street Fighter live action movie. So it's set for 2026, and the exact date they put in there was March 20th, 2026, close to my birthday, 2 years from now. Can't wait for this. One of the retro movie reviews will be the original one with Van Damme, because that was awesome. I don't care, that was awesome. It's just one of those guilty pleasure type of movies. But I'm looking forward to this. I think with the storytelling they have now, the choreographing, the martial arts, the special effects, all that sort of stuff, they could put something great together. So I'm looking forward to what they're doing. Just get the character, I think, get the character costumes and design right, and we're in. So I'm looking forward to that. Street Fighter coming out March 20th, 2026. All right, guys, that's all the news I had for you. Guys, that's it for this week's episode. Like I said, talked through a lot of breaking news, a lot of stuff we kind of watched. I managed to kind of watch a few things this week. Hopefully, like I said, we'll get hopefully me and Kibbs will be able to do, I think I've got 2 more that we could do together, hopefully. Unless they get busy. I get it, they're with the kids. I don't have that responsibility right now, but hopefully we'll be together doing it again. So guys, I'm going to leave it there. Again, to all our subscribers, we've been getting a little influx of subscribers and viewers. Thank you so much, for all the love. We're going to keep trying to do what we can, as much as we can, based on our time and our schedules and whatnot. But thank you for watching. Thanks for subscribing. An influx of subscribers. We're still trying to. It's all about. What is it? It's about just us doing what we're doing, man. I'm only doing this because I enjoy it. I genuinely enjoy checking the news, writing it down, and be like, I can't wait to give my thoughts on this. I do prefer to do it with a brother. I love bouncing off ideas with brothers and whatnot. Doing it solo, just talking to myself, kind of. It's bit of a different, like going through the whole podcast by myself. I think this might be the first solo podcast that I've done. I know I've always collaborated with someone. Same with Kibbs. I don't think we've ever done a solo one. We've even sometimes cancelled, but since there was so much to go through, I was like, let me just do it. So yeah, again, thanks guys for watching, subscribing. Our shorts have been getting a lot of views, and we're going to be doing more of those, breaking news and just little thoughts here and there. Guys, check out Fight Talk. Me and K West are always going to be talking about the MMA, another thing that we geek out with. We'll be getting other screenings. Check out our social medias, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all that sort of stuff. We're in all streaming platforms, and we got a nice following on all the platforms. So appreciate it, guys. Really do. Just 2 kids from Tottenham, just talking our minds, just geeking out. And from this, we've been getting great opportunities. So love it. All love to you lot. All respects. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. I'm out. Peace.